Bac Ninh Kinh Bac is the name for the land which is considered the opening of Dai Viet civilization, the place of worshipping for the Vietnamese ancestors, Kinh Duong Vuong, the homeland of Lai dynasty, the town of Buddhist temples. In the history of Bac Ninh town, it is an area of more than 6,000 square kilometers with 4 coverage of 21 districts. Through many adjustments to the administrative boundaries, the natural area of Bac Ninh province is currently 822.7 square kilometers. It is the smallest province throughout the whole country, but it is the cultural center of ancient Kinh Bac. Established in 1997, over more than 25 years of construction and development, Bac Ninh is now developing comprehensively in all fields, becoming the growth pole of the capital region and the northern key economic region. In the context of rapid changes in the world and region, many guidelines of the party, policies, and laws of the state have been promulgated and implemented, such as law on planning, the National Master Plan Period, 2021 to 2030 Vision to 2050, Resolution 30 of the Politburo on Socio-Economic Development and Assurance of National Defense and Security in the Red River Delta until 2030, Vision to 2045, the resolution of the 20th Provincial Party Congress, and orientations for urban space development approved by the province and being submitted to the Prime Minister for approval. In response to the above-mentioned requirements, Bac Ninh Province needs to develop and submit for appraisal and approval on the overall provincial master plan, expressing the strategy and aspiration, proposing creative solutions, realizing the development vision of Bac Ninh in the new period towards the future of comprehensive, sustainable, and prosperous development with the 2 biggest goals. 1. Harmoniously and sustainably developing and attaching importance to the development of culture and people of Bac Ninh, Kinh Bac, linking economic growth and increasing the welfare of people's lives and ensuring social justice. 2. Building Bac Ninh to meet all criteria and soon become a city directly under the central government in the direction of civilization and modernity. Based on such goals, Bac Ninh sets out specific numbers from now to 2030 in terms of economic development as follows. The average growth rate of GRDP in the whole period of 2021 through 2030 will reach from 7.5 to 8% per year. By 2030, the proportion of industry and construction will approach 72.6%, services to 21.8%, product tax to 4.0%, agriculture, forestry, and fishery to 1.6%. GRDP per capita is 327.23 million dong per person. The growth rate of social labor productivity will be 8.5 to 9% per year. Export turnover reaches 48.9 billion USD, imports 42.3 billion. Total state budget revenue obtains 46.233 billion dong. Total budget expenditure is 36,018 billion dong. Vision to 2050. Bac Ninh will become a high-tech innovation, research and design R&D center in Southeast Asia. At the same time, the province also aims to develop into a hub of high-value international digital services based on digital services and global services that can be performed remotely. In order to realize the goals, Bac Ninh offers socio-economic development directions upon economic sectors, specifically as follows. Industry construction. Smart and green industry will be developed to become the mainstream trend and the major driving force for economic growth, to bring Bac Ninh into a complete electronic product manufacturing center. By 2030, the GRDP of industry construction will be targeted to 190,374 billion dong. Network infrastructure of industrial zones and clusters by 2030. 2 new industrial zones will be established, which are already included in the Vietnam Industrial Park Planning. Trade services and tourism. It will be focused to develop and turn the urban economy into one of the important driving forces for the whole economy of Bac Ninh in terms of trade and service, shopping, leisure, and entertainment. To build Bac Ninh into a regional logistics center by 2030, the total contribution of the service industry to GRDP will reach 57,324 billion dong. In addition to socioeconomic development according to economic sectors, Bac Ninh aims to develop spatial strategic planning with 2 focus areas and 5 development corridors as follows. 2 focus areas for development are: the northern of Duong River includes Bac Ninh City, Tucson City and Yenfeng, Tiandu, and Q Vo districts. The southern Dong River includes Thuan Than District, Gia Binh District, and Luong Tai District. 5 development corridors include Urban Service Corridor along National Highway 1 connecting Tucson, Tiandu, Bac Ninh, linked to urban development axis of Hanoi. Bac Ninh, Bac Giang. Urban industrial corridor along National Highway 18, connecting Yanfang. Bac Ninh. Quy Vo, building complete industrial cities, developing service towns for industrial development, located in the axis connecting Hanoi to Bac Ninh, Haiduang and Quang Ninh. Corridor for urban development industry and high-tech ecological architecture along National Highway 17, connecting Quy Vo, Gia Binh, Thuan Than. Service urban development corridor along National Highway 38 and Ring 4, connecting Bac Ninh to Thuan Than City, linked at Hanoi to Hung Yen. Bac Ninh, Vinh Phuc, development axis. Ecological corridor and tourism to experience history along the Duong River, taking the historical Duong River as the center, with a cluster of relics in Thuan Than District and a cluster of historical and cultural relics in Gia Binh District as a multifunctional nucleus. In general, the planning strategy of Bac Ninh Province has comprehensively covered the criteria and spatial distribution of socio-economic activities, national defense and security, urban system and distribution of rural population infrastructure, land allocation, resource use, and environmental protection, sustainable development. Bac Ninh currently has 16 concentrated industrial zones approved by the Prime Minister with a total area of 6,397.68 hectares, of which 10 zones are put into operation. The average area of an industrial zone is 399 hectares. Although the province has a small area, the total area of industrial zones as well as the average size of one industrial zone in Bac Ninh is high, just smaller than Quang Ninh and Haiphong, the northern key economic region. Bac Ninh's industrial zones are synchronously invested in technical and social infrastructure, creating attractiveness, attracting many big investors from 38 countries and territories. Only from the beginning of 2023 until now, the Management Board of Bac Ninh Industrial Zones has granted new licenses to about 30 investment projects with a total registered investment capital of over 481 million USD, in which there are 24 FDI projects with a total registered investment capital of more than 436 million USD. The total investment capital for new and adjusted secondary projects from the beginning of 2023 to now is over 537 million USD. Accumulated up to now, the Management Board has granted investment region for over 1,840 investment certificates, in which more than 1,260 FDI projects and 582 domestic projects, with total newly and adjusted investment capital reaching over 24.2 billion USD. Quy Vo Industrial Park and Quy Vo Expansion, located in Quy Vo District and Bac Ninh City, close to National Highway 18 Noi Bai, Ha Long, National Highway 1A, and railway route Hanoi to Bac Ninh, Kai Lan Port, 33 kilometers from Hanoi, 34 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport, 110 kilometers from Kai Lan International Seaport, 100 kilometers from Haiphong Port. The investor of the industrial park is Kinbach Urban Development Corporation. Nam Son Hop Lin Industrial Park. The industrial park has a total area of 300 hectares. Currently, the allocated land area is 155 hectares, close to National Highway 38, near National Road 18, Route Noi Bai International Airport, Halong City, Quang Ninh, Quy Vo Industrial Park 2. The address is Nak Sa Commune, Quy Vo District, Phase 1, with a total area of 269.48 hectares. The investor is Quy Vo Industrial Park and Urban Development Investment, Joint Stock Company, IDICO. Total investment capital for infrastructure construction, 1,480.4 billion dong. Phase 2 with a total area of 277.52 hectares. Investor is Nan Dat Tien Company Limited. Total investment capital for infrastructure construction, 2,991.56 billion dong. Quy Vo 3 Industrial Park, located close to National Highway 18, Route Noi Bai International Airport, Halong City, 45 kilometers from Hanoi, 40 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport, 100 kilometers from Kai Lan Port, 100 kilometers from Haiphong Port. Total investment in infrastructure construction is 2,779.48 billion dong. Tien Sun Industrial Park. Location: between National Highway 1A and New National Highway 1. 18 kilometers from Hanoi Capital, 35 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport, 120 kilometers from Kai Lan Seaport, 90 kilometers from Haiphong Port. The investor is Viglasera Corporation. The industrial park has a total area of 350 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 1,401.15 billion dong. Visit Bac Ninh Industrial Park. located at the intersection between the new National Highway 1 and TL 295, 16 kilometers from Hanoi capital, 100 kilometers from Haiphong Port, 39 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport, 125 kilometers from Kai Lan Port. The investor is Tinh Bac Ninh Company Limited. The industrial park has a total area of 485 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 80 million USD. Dai Dong Hon Sun Industrial Park, located close to the interchange between the new National Highway 1 and Provincial Road 295, 18 kilometers from Hanoi capital, 37 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport. The investor of the industrial park is Saigon Telecommunications Technology, joint stock company, Saigon Tel. The area of the industrial zone is 382.63 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 1,809.41 billion dong. Hanaka Industrial Park. The investor is Hanaka Group Joint Stock Company. The industrial park has an area of 55,289 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 405.60 billion dong. Yanfeng Industrial Park and Yanfeng Expansion, close to National Highway 18, 30 kilometers from Hanoi, 18 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport, 122 kilometers from Kai Lan Port, Quang Ninh, 112 kilometers from Haiphong Port. The investor is Viglasera Corporation. The industrial park has an area of 658 hectares, in which Yanfeng Industrial Park covers an area of 344 hectares, and Yanfeng Industrial Park expands to 314 hectares. Yanfeng 2 Industrial Park. The address is in Yanfeng District. The location is at the intersection between National Highway 18 and National Highway 3, 20 kilometers from Hanoi capital, 110 kilometers from Haiphong Port, including 3 subdivisions. Subdivision A. Investor is Western Pacific Infrastructure Joint Stock Company. Area 151.27 hectares. Total investment capital 1,830 billion dong. Subdivision B investor is Tinh Bac Ninh Company Limited. Area 282.67 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital 2,358.78 billion dong. Subdivision C investor is Viglasera Corporation, JSC. Area 222.03 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital 2,234 billion dong. Thuan Than 1 Industrial Park. The location is next to Ring Road number 4 and DT.285B near Highway 38, 46 kilometers from Noi Bai Airport, 21 kilometers from Hanoi. The investor is Viglasera Corporation. The industrial zone has a total area of 249.75 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 2,847.82 billion dong. The industrial park started construction from February 2022. Thuan Than 2 Industrial Park. The address is An Bin Commune, Thuan Than District, Bac Ninh Province. Location close to National Highway 38, 30 kilometers from Hanoi, 12 kilometers from Bac Ninh City, 90 kilometers from Haiphong Port, 55 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport. The investor of the industrial park infrastructure is Shun Far Real Estate Development Company Limited. Industrial zone area is 252 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 80 million USD. Thuan Than 3 Industrial Park, including 3 subdivisions. Subdivision A, the area is 140 hectares. The investor is Kai Sun Joint Stock Company. Subdivision B, the area is 300.04 hectares. The investor is Trung Quai Bac Ninh Investment Joint Stock Company. Subdivision C is currently rolling out. Gia Bin Industrial Park, close to National Highway 282, 45 kilometers from Hanoi, 25 kilometers from Bac Ninh City, 100 kilometers from Haiphong Port, 56 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport. Infrastructure investor is Bac Ninh Industrial Park Investment and Construction, 1 member limited liability company. Industrial zone area is 306.69 hectares. Total infrastructure investment capital is 2,578.25 billion dong. Currently, the industrial park infrastructure is being deployed. Gia Bin Industrial Park 2, near National Highway 18, via Bin Than Bridge, 45 kilometers from Hanoi, 25 kilometers from Bac Ninh City, 110 kilometers from Haiphong Port, 56 kilometers from Noi Bai International Airport. The investor of the industrial park infrastructure is Hanaka Group Joint Stock Company. The area is 250 hectares. Total investment in infrastructure is 3,956.80 billion dong. Currently, the industrial park infrastructure is being deployed. An Viet Quay Vosik Industrial Park. The industrial park is an area of 78.68 hectares. Currently, the investor is carrying out procedures to submit to competent authorities for appraisal and approval. As far as the infrastructure of industrial zones are concerned, Bac Ninh is considered as a bright spot in attracting investment of the whole country, rising to become the 7th province in the country in terms of attracting investment capital. Thanks to solutions to focus on investing in infrastructure of industrial zones and a synchronous and modern transport system, the investment environment of Bac Ninh province is increasingly improved and towards the goal of sustainable development, having Bac Ninh become one of the industrial and service centers of the region and the whole country. Your success is our success. Sincerely, thank you.